So I'm starting out this layout with a 4" by 6" photo of my daughter feeding the giraffe at the zoo. And the great thing about this photo is that there isn't one color that's predominant, so I can pretty much choose my own color scheme. So I've chosen some patterns. I want them to feel a bit kind of safari-ish, but still have bright colors in them. So I chose that triangular pattern and the diamond shape in the background with a rainbow kind of stripe and a coral offcut that I had just lying around that looked really nice with it as well. So I'm going to layer those three up underneath my photo, which I have lined with white cardstock. And I've been saving this die cut from Maggie Holmes for about ever, just for a picture like this. So I'm really excited to finally use it. I just want to show you, I thought about doing this on 8.5 by 11 because that's the size I really prefer to scrapbook in, but just want to show you how tight it was and why I chose to go with 12 by 12. So with my 4" by 6" photo and all the layers, the giraffe had to layer on top of my photo. There wasn't much room on the bottom for a title or to the right for my journaling, so I decided to go with 12" by 12". So here we go. I'm going to set everything up here just the way I want it, but I'm not going to adhere everything down until I pretty much have all of the elements in place. I really like that the giraffe is facing that direction because it really draws attention to the photo right away. Because the giraffe is definitely the most striking thing on the page, and on that white background there's a lot of contrast. So I'm going to do a little bit more layering and just layer the giraffe's head on top of a journaling card from Ellie's Studio that I have here. And I want to do something vertical on the side here that kind of goes down towards the giraffe, because the giraffe is such a vertical element. And I have this stamp that is really cool, and it kind of mimics the diamond shape on my pattern paper underneath my photo. It's an iCat kind of design, and you can do the middle bit in a different color to the bits at the side. But before I actually commit to it and put it on my layout, I'm going to try it out on a piece of scrap paper, because that's always a good idea. Better than wasting an entire 12" by 12" piece of paper. So I'm just going to set the pieces of the design up, and I've chosen kind of a pinkish tone because there's a lot of pink in the colors, obviously the giraffe and the patterns that I've chosen. Now I stamped first just by inking and then stamping, and it was really bright. So I've decided to go ahead and stamp off every time. And if you're not a stamper, this is a great way to kind of get a lighter design, so that it doesn't stand out too much. You don't have as much contrast. So I'm definitely going to go with that stamped off. And I'm just playing with different colors for the middle piece. I don't want it to get too bright because I don't want it to take away from my photo. Especially the way that I've placed that bright striped paper underneath my photo. That, along with the direction of the giraffe, really points your eye towards the photo when you look at the layout. So I don't want to take away from that. So I'm just trying out this kind of light brown, thinking that it would be less contrasting. And just by placing that there, I can see that I'm not totally crazy about that. Just the way that my photo, my journaling tag is moving kind of horizontally across the page, and then I'm going to have this pattern moving vertically. It doesn't really add up to me. So I'm going to cut it out really quickly just to see if there's anywhere else that I can move it on my page that will work. So along the bottom, the diamonds are facing a different way than the pattern in my photo. So I really don't like that because I think it takes away from that really cool pattern. But over here, it kind of adds some balance to my design because I have that really heavy giraffe on the bottom right side of my layout. If I put this stamped design, just 3 diamonds, to the left side of my photo, at the top of the layout, it really helps to balance with the heavy giraffe. So I'm going to go with that. Ultimately, I decided to stick with the pink tones alternating with coral so that it wasn't too much of a heavy color balance. I wanted it to be kind of a tone-on-tone colored pattern. So I did pink and coral and then yellow for the center. Okay, here we go back to that original layout design, but now I have my pattern on the side. I want to get a little bit of a different pattern to go on the right side of the page somewhere as well. So I'm checking out this old Amy Tangerine transparent sticker sheet, and I really like this yellow pattern here, and it's only the corner of this frame that I really want, because obviously I have nothing square shaped that I can use the rest of the frame for. So I'm just going to cut this out really quickly. And I like that this is yellow too because I'd like to pull some more yellow over it this way. If I stick it underneath my photo, you really can't see the really beautiful kind of hand-drawn design on it. So I don't think it's a good idea to place it there. But if I put it here, just slightly overlapping my journaling card, and the great thing about the sticker is that it's see-through, so even if my journaling goes all the way over to the right side of the card, you'll still be able to read it. So I'm just going to hold on to that until I type my journaling, print my journaling out on my card. And I'm going to go ahead and stick my layers together. I'm adding a bit more texture to the edges of my pattern paper by just running them over with some sharp scissors. You don't need a fancy tool for this part. You just have to use the edge of your scissors. At this stage, I'm going to go ahead and cut the manufacturer's strip off the bottom of my cardstock just so I can be sure that I'm placing the giraffe right at the bottom of the page there, just so everything is in the correct place. I always use dimensional adhesive on my photos. I find that it just helps them to stand out a little bit more, and that's also why I back them with white cardstock. So that's my general layout design. Now it's time to add some embellishment. So I've added the crepe paper chipboard stickers. The I used to be a B, and the Dear Lizzie foam thickers to that. I've typed my journaling out on my journaling card, so I'm just going to go ahead and slide this back in here where I had it planned. I find that I can always add more journaling if I type it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that transparent sticker that I had planned over here, and it really helps to add some more balance to the right side of the page. Just having that pop of color over there really works. So next I'm going to add my date with the date stamp. That's something you find with all my layouts, and I find that if I don't do it in the middle of the process, I'm going to forget to add the date. So I'm just looking for other small bits of embellishment that I can add, and these puffy stickers from LE Studio are fantastic. I will have the link up on here or on my blog. So I'm just going to find a sentiment that works, and this one says that this makes me smile. But if I put it like that, I find it's just too heavy for the top, so I'm going to tuck half of it underneath my photo, and that just really works so much better. Even just that tiny bit of black being hidden just helps take away some of the weight. I'm just checking on the sticker sheet again to see if there's anything else on here I can use. But that sticker is just too bright pink. So I'm going to add 3 enamel dots to the center of my stamped pattern there. And it's the same, pretty much the same color yellow that I stamped with in the center. So as I was adding my embellishment, I realized that something just didn't feel right, and I felt like I needed something to ground the bottom of my page. And the back side of the Amy Tangerine stripe pattern has the same color coral that I have at the top of my page. That's actually an offcut of the same piece of paper. And I like that it has the same pattern at the bottom right that I put on that sticker that's on the corner of my journaling tag. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, and I just feel like it really completes the layout. It just really helps ground everything. So I have a few more bits that I'm just going to add, like these kind of corally pink hearts chipboard stickers, and the Maggie Holmes phrase there, and the puffy sticker, the puffy arrow sticker. So I kept the embellishment pretty simple. Because there's a lot of pattern and color going on here, you don't need a ton of embellishment. So I'm just going to add my giraffe. I don't typically like to use liquid glue on these because I can find that it will warp the vellum. So I'm going to call this layout complete. Thank you so much for joining me on this process video, and be sure to subscribe to my feed if you'd like to see more videos, scrapbooking videos from me, and follow my blog. It's meganandrew.com, and on Instagram at meganandrew. Thanks so much, and happy creating.